therefore declared this show is good.
Going back to Crim's psyche, by the way, this is a continuation from yesterday's conversations, is that Crim has two types that are also very conflicting with each other. So we already mentioned the Dami mommies, right?
Yeah.
With war criminal background.
Right.
But also Crim likes the, Niisan, I am loving you so much, and I can't.
First off,
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Nii-San Podcast. You're listening to your host, Josh Xell and Crim.
and me, Crim, also known as the Asian Avenger.
Today is our last podcast episode of the year.
What's the thing that everybody always says that's super annoying? I'm not going to see you for the rest of this year, dude, or something like that, or see you next year, to make it sound so much more dramatic.
Oh.
Which is true.
I
guess.
Yeah.
I think that's true, dude.
I guess they're technically true.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that here.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
But you know what? On a better note, I wish we had some confetti or like a birthday hat, because this is like
Don, hit us with it.
Yeah, like do that really cheesy sound clip where like somebody has like kids cheering, yay! like you know what I mean? Because we are now at the end of the year, and this means it's about that time to do a year in review. And this year has been pretty busy, right? With a lot of anime.
Been a lot of anime. It feels like, I don't know. We've had some good seasons. We've had some bad seasons, and
really, we only had one bad season. I think.
I think about two. I would give it like 1.5. But anyways.
Yeah, yeah.
The goal of today is we're going to nominate and go through our top 5 anime of the year.
Right.
And I don't know. It was tough ranking my top 5. And
yeah, same.
But yeah, another good year of anime. I think. I think there's a couple shows on my list that I feel like will be viewed as like, hey, this is a great show that anyone should watch and pick up, and will be on like people's recommended things for a long time to come. So
yeah,
I'm excited to see what your list is. And yeah,
let's see if we overlap. And I mean, like, the thing that's cool about this is honestly like going back and looking at how we rank some of the animes at the beginning of the season, the end of the season, how those kind of like went head to head, and if they still stayed up on our list now at the end of the year. So, but yeah, like, let's just go ahead and get right into the honorable mentions before we get into like, the main list, because I think this year, as we had mentioned, had a lot. There's a lot. And I think there's a few that are worth mentioning that weren't quite on my list. And I'm just going to go ahead and say that a few of them I didn't watch till after they aired.
Okay.
And so, like, and I can still appreciate them for what they are, and I think they're really good. So, like, a few of those, like, just one of those for me was, like, obviously it was going to be, like Odd Taxi. I didn't watch that when that aired.
Yeah.
I watched that after, when eventually everybody's like, yo, you got to watch this. And at first, the artwork kind of put me off of it. But then after I watched the show, it actually is so much better than I thought it would be. Like, the artwork and all of that, the posters, it made it seem like it was some kind of kids show, right? And then I watched. I was like, "Hold on, this is not that.
Really
this is not that at all."
Yeah.
So yeah, like we're gonna go right into it, but so I think, why don't you lead us into it? What do you have on the list?
On my honorable mentions, which like TBH, so a couple of these are honorable mentions because I've heard how good they are. I haven't watched them, so I can't give them a good rating because I haven't done it myself. So one you just mentioned, Odd Taxi. I watched one episode of it, loved it. I just haven't gone and watched the rest of it, but I do think that one is like worth mentioning, even though it's not going to make it into my personal top 5 list. I've watched. The other one I would say is Fruits Basket, the final season of Fruits Basket. I've also heard amazing things about.
It's very good.
People said it's fantastic, and I just haven't caught up on Fruits Basket.
It actually followed the manga way more accurately this time around. So very, very solid ending to a great show there.
Yeah. And then 2 other ones which easily could have been in my top 5 TBH.
Right.
Horimiya and To Your Eternity. Horimiya being a romance show, kind of like episodic, and
I hate romance animes, man. They're so
How do you lie like that? How do you just lie without like skipping a beat?
I die.
Who taught you how to do that?
I die on the inside a little bit, every time. Like my eye kind of twitches, like a little bit, but you have to look real close. Like it kind of twitches.
I don't think it does.
Really? Maybe it just feels like it does on the inside. I don't know.
Anyways, King Simp over here. I know he's into romance anime.
I am the first simp, okay?
First.
And then there's all my offshoots, all right?
Okay, your disciples.
Crim, the first simp. Whoa, that's kind of a cool title.
No one's ever simped before.
Yeah, before me, there were no simps.
Yeah, instead of before Christ, it's before
BC.
Simp.
It's still BC before Crim, and then it's AC after Crim, right?
Okay. Anyways, I want to talk about how Horimiya is just a great, fantastic show, and I really loved it. It like towards the end, I felt like it kind of did a little rush through, but like I personally really did love it, and I just wish there was more of it, which unfortunately I don't think there will be. But that's Horimiya is great. My other one that's on my honorable mention is To Your Eternity, which I also think had sort of the potential for being like a top like anime of the year contender, I think, as well, and like it just narrowly didn't make it. I think the show's fantastic. I've cried so many times during that show. Gugu's arc still is just like one of the highest highs of this season or of the year.
Yeah,
so,
I feel like you definitely have to. Like I remember like having to be in the mood to watch it. Like I had to set myself up. Like all right, cool.
Yeah.
I'm full. I've taken a bath. I'm just gonna lay down now and get ready to cry a little bit. So.
Yeah. And I just think the show was fantastic, emotional and stuff. It just narrowly doesn't make it to the top because I did find that last arc to be a little bit of a miss. But like, that's really it. That's like it could have been in my top 5, and it was actually kind of hard to determine if like Horimiya or To Your Eternity was going to be on my top 5.
Yeah.
But I went with my guts and said otherwise. So
okay. Well, yeah, I ate something weird, so I'm not trusting my gut yet. But but I think from my list, my honorable mentions were one of them is Remake Our Lives. I know that like it's kind of like lower on most people's lists, but I think the one thing that I really appreciate it for is really the fact that I know we joked about it, but like it is rare to like see that we have like an anime take place in your 20s.
Yeah.
Like it's rare to see that, and it's in and maybe it's a little more closer to home because it's like they're working together to make content, to make a movie. They work on these projects, so it felt like it was very easily relatable.
Yeah.
So it definitely felt more like something where I can personally relate to it. So I held it in higher regards. And then on top of that, I loved all the characters. I loved every character. Yes, all of them. Like I think it was cute. It was sad. It had everything I wanted out of it, and most importantly, who wouldn't want to go back and redo their college years, right? To like maybe instead of doing one thing and busting in one and like going and being successful elsewhere, right? So that was just a fun one for me. And then of course I've got Komi Can't Communicate. This show is so damn heartwarming. Yeah. It's cute as hell. Every time Komi goes into like her weird cat ears and huge googly eyes, like it's just, I love it. I love it. And I love every character.
She's adorable.
It really is adorable. It's such a heartwarmer. So really close, solid, fun, like writing and a simple, sweet concept. And then lastly is probably one of the biggest, like the sleepers of the season, which would be Tesla Note. Clearly. I feel like,
it is maybe a dishonorable mention. Like I don't know. It is certainly a mention.
Yeah, I will mention it.
Honorable. I'm just not sure about that part of it.
Who would we be if we just don't recognize greatness? Like Tesla Note. Like that's just such a good one. You just can't leave it off a list. Like it's criminal. It's criminal if you leave it off. So
I'm in pain.
See, I can only lie so well, but like that one I can't say.
What is the Hollywood version of like worst the raspberries, right, or something?
The Razzies?
The Razzies. Yeah.
Wait, is that in The Office? Or is that real?
I forget.
That might
there is a real one where it's like worst movie ever.
Yeah, this would definitely be. So yeah, let's just call it the dishonorable mention.
Because if we're going there, I just want to remind people that Exarm came on also this year, and The Promised Neverland season 2.
I think we were walking and talking, and I think you had the nerve to tell me that Promised Neverland 2 was somehow worse than Exarm.
I actually believe that 100%. I actually believe that even I haven't seen Tesla Note, but even with that animation, it must have better story than The Promised Neverland season 2. There's just no possibility that it,
dude. That okay? I like it was bad. Okay, that's a whole nother thing. Okay, all right, that's a whole
That's another
thing.
episode.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get right into our list before we go in too far down the rabbit hole here. So why don't you lead us in with your number 5? This is like, once again, this is a tough one. This is a really, really tough. At the end of the year, now you've had everything, like, had time to sit and settle.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, we're going into it. Number 5. What do you got for us?
All right, number 5. Just movie voice.
5.
At number 5, and yeah, like you said, each one of these picks was super hard to try to order, but this is what I went with. Number 5 is Vivy by Wit Studio. It's a sci-fi show, and for people who don't know about it, it's basically the world is about to end, and it's on the back of basically this one robot lady.
This Vocaloid almost?
Yeah, kind of like,
but like
her
like
job.
Android?
Yeah, like every robot has a job, and her job was to sing for guests, and she's not popular or anything, but she's given this task to correct humanity's course in order to prevent it from killing itself, essentially, or being, leading to a robot dystopian world. And the music is fantastic. The voice acting is great. I just thought it was a very gripping story all the way through. It's very short and sweet with, I think, it's just 13 episodes or so. And
I think the biggest thing is it had an end date in mind,
Yeah,
right?
and-
It knew it needed to end, so...
yeah, and so I just, again, it's one of those, I think, originals I place very highly in my, especially ones that have, like, even a half decent ending. Let's put it that way.
Honestly, half decent is the bar now, right? Like, it's like...
and yeah, I think Vivy had a competent ending, and everything up to it I thought was groundbreaking. And I love the song, the opening theme that they use in very creative ways throughout the show. Like, I love it a lot. So
Yeah.
Vivy is one that's definitely close to heart.
All right. Well, so then number 5 for me was actually one that narrowly missed out on your list, and it's To Your Eternity. To Your Eternity, done by Brains Base, and it's like, so it's kind of like this fantasy. I don't know. It's just a fantasy adventure show, right? And I think the one thing that was really cool about it was that though the last arc was a bit of a downer compared to the rest of the arcs, I still think that the show overall was amazing and heavily boosted by the previous arcs. And even then, its worst arc is still like watchable, right? Like it's still better than like your 4,000th isekai. Right. So like I will stand by the fact that I think To Your Eternity is still solid all the way through. And even at the very end, the final scene is so sweet and beautiful. Like when you finally got to see grandma, like that tugs at my heart, right? That tugs at my heart. And I think the biggest thing is like it's beautifully animated. And the last arc, as I've now let it sit and sink in, and like it's settled, and I think the last arc was necessary in a way where it had to give you crazy hot ninja lady, like a little bit of, like where Xell and I had this discussion, and we realized that I might have like let's just call it an interesting taste.
It was literally just yesterday that we were discussing among friends that like, oh, Crim has this type where he wants to be dommied, he wants to be dommy mommy.
Loving my dommy mommy and war criminals.
But like specifically dommy mommy with a taste of blood and war crimes on the side, like Yotsuyu, who enslaves her own people and slaughters them for amusement. Azula, a child war criminal, nice. That's also very high tier. And now we have I forgot her name, but
it's high tier.
high tier in Crim's mind. So
yeah, dude, look, okay, so crazy hot ninja lady, despite having her like eyes like gashed open at this point, she's got these crazy scars. It's got, she's got like that.
Crim's into that.
I could change. I could fix her. Maybe. I mean, anyways, so like the thing
Are you a
is,
plastic surgeon? Like, I don't know.
No, more on the inside. I'm an emotional surgeon. How about that? But I think the show, that last arc was key in helping kind of like build her up, right? Because that she's gonna have a bigger role going into season 2. So Love To Your Eternity. Strong show. Great characters all throughout. Every arc was just heartbreaking. And the last one, it wasn't emotional, but it was a setup arc.
Yeah.
So solid number 5 for me.
I like I said before, To Your Eternity, I think has hit some of the highest highs. In like all of this season, but we can't just talk about arcs. We have to talk about the whole thing. So that's okay.
Even its worst arc wasn't.
It was
It's still good. It's still decent, right?
Number 4.
Coming in at number 4.
So this one's probably
Just
a little bit
Macho
of a
Man Randy Savage. So I realized my movie actor voice is, I got you for 3 minutes. Yeah, brother. I don't know, man. Just go to number 4. I can't.
I'm sorry.
You want me to
We're
keep
just
going?
gonna keep stalling here. Okay, so for my number 4 of the entire year, I have Zombieland Saga, animated by Mappa. And
I've heard of that studio.
Yeah, they've done.
They're okay.
They're yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't.
They just haven't just like animated like half the shows of every season.
Yeah.
I've no idea how they do that. Probably. Anyways, yeah, we're not gonna go there. Zombieland Saga is a kind of a weird take on idol shows. So instead of your typical idol story where it's about people who are alive, instead it's about idols who are dead and reanimated as zombies. And this show, even from season 1, just got me in a way that I didn't realize idol shows could be that good. Like I guess part of it was my own biases, I guess, against I don't know, my own bias. I'm pretty sure it's just bias against like idol shows. Like I was like, I'm not really what?
It's bicep.
Bicep? Okay, my own bicep against.
Mm-hmm. Yep, there
my
it
own
is.
bicep right here.
Hey, look at that right there.
Very
Those are nice.
Very judgmental on idol shows.
Can we just edit in a big muscle right there?
I mean, you don't need to edit it.
Sorry. We need to edit to tone it down. Is what I meant.
Yes. Sorry.
To tone
Thank
it
you.
down.
Thank you, Crim, for that correction. It's very important to me that
Listeners and watchers need to know.
Yes.
You are flexing and that your arm is huge.
Well, I mean, they knew it was flexing.
They could hear you flexing. Yeah, you're right.
It's like when in shows when someone like grips they do the Arthur. No, like the Arthur like I'm mad like grip. And for some reason, every time they do that, there's always like a leather sound, even if they're barehanded. And like I don't understand that. I
don't know why there is either. Your skin shouldn't sound like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways,
maybe you should use lotion. Okay. No, but Zombieland Saga is just like a really, really good kind of lampoon, I guess, on idol shows while still being an idol show. I don't know what the term for that is because it's not.
It's kind of like Konosuba, a spoof on an isekai, but it's like kind of like still.
But it's still
aware.
kind of
it is an isekai, right?
Yeah,
like so.
And exactly then it's like the CG dance song bits are okay, that's fine. But I think what sets it apart for me is just the depth that the characters get. And I think in particular with Zombieland Saga, because they have a smaller cast than say like, I don't know, Love Live, who seemingly has a roster that's as big as like, I don't know, Fire Emblem.
Oh God, yeah. There's a lot of idols in that show.
And so like this season in particular was a standout to me because they go into some of the backstories that we hadn't heard about from season 1. And I just thought it was great. It had a lot of character depth, but also a lot of awesome comedy bits that I really enjoy. And even the songs this season around too, like I liked them even more than any of the stuff in season 1. So yeah, I think Zombieland Saga was like a very worthy pick for the year, and it ranks number 4 for me.
I watched an episode finally.
Yeah,
I did like the opener. It starts off with let's just call it a home run.
With a bang.
With a real bang. So yeah,
crash.
Yeah. It's pretty good. So I'm a bit late to it, but I'm excited because it seemed pretty solid. No. But I guess for my number 4, this one is going to be a little more abstract, and I don't even know how many people probably fully understood it watching it one time through. I had to watch it 2 times through, and I still don't fully.
300 IQ to understand.
I watched it by myself, like it's Sonny Boy, and I loved Sonny Boy because it was, first off, it's sci-fi. It's done by Madhouse, and I just love my sci-fi animes, right? And then on top of that, like it was just wow. It was so weird And I loved that.
Yeah.
And I loved like how I didn't think much of it, but there was so much attention to detail like throughout the whole show, and that like every single thing tied back to the show somehow, down to the the outro song. If you look at the lyrics, it almost links up perfectly and can describe the show to you. It's by the Ging Nang Boys, or I'm probably butchering their name, but like it's such a good song.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, like every character was so intriguing. And at first I thought I missed an episode. It's just one of those shows where you feel like, did I miss an episode? How did we get here?
Yeah.
But nope, that's just how it is. It's intentional.
Yeah, that show is like very. If I was to put it into like classical art terms, it's like impressionist, you know, where it like the plot doesn't reveal itself in like the typical way of like, this is what happens, boom, 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 and like sequentially. It's kind of like, it's almost like an interpretive like thing that happens where you like you kind of have to internalize it, think about it a little bit, let it soak and stew, and then you're like, oh, okay, maybe that's what they were going for. And I think when this show was airing in particular, that's when it was like at its best in some ways, because you were left wondering for a week, like, what even just happened?
And like, it was just like the twists and turns in that show were wild. And then on like, I mean, I don't want to spoil it too much, because I mean, actually, you know what?
Hard
even if I talk about it, like it doesn't matter.
Like,
you're not gonna know because it's so confusing. Even if I held your hand through the whole thing, and I think what even made it stand out more was that it was in a very, very slow summer 2021 season. That's probably the low point of anime for me this season in the summer.
Gotcha.
So, but even then, regardless of like what season it was in, like still a standout if you're into sci-fi.
Yeah. Okay. We're going to our number three. Number three.
Brother.
Why?
I
want like Earl Jones, not.
I can only do
Randy Savage.
I can only do that, or like a really Kirkland watered down Michael Caine. It's only one of those, so I can't do anything else.
We'll work on your range for next year's compound.
Number 3, Mr. Wayne.
I guess that means I'm Batman. So, all right. Number 3 on my list is another Mappa show.
Oh, these guys are getting pretty big.
Yeah, I think they're getting there. They're getting there.
They might be something.
Attack on Titan. I know this is not one of your favorite shows and whatnot, but I loved this last season of Attack on Titan. I thought it brought in a lot of the political drama that I had been kind of missing for a little bit, and I think this was like the first time in the show where we got some really big world building like breakthroughs, I think. And I just remember just being at the edge of my seat because there were some moments of just such terror and tenseness from the situation. It was kind of like this, the whole season just felt like you were on top of a powder keg, because at any moment you knew that things could just get very explosive, and it does. And so like, I'm so excited to see the conclusion of Attack on Titan, like in its, final form, even if manga readers, I know you're not, I've heard you guys talk on Twitter. I know you guys aren't happy, but I think everything up until the end has been amazing, and I'm looking forward to it regardless. I'm excited to see how it all ends, and I thought this season was fantastic, and I love the show. It was a different studio. I know Wit Studio had done everything, but I think obviously Mappa does a great job as well on the animation side. I don't know. Surprise.
Yeah, surprise.
Yeah,
they're an all right stand-in, I guess.
And I thought, Mappa did a great job. I know some people also complained about the animation and whatnot, but I really think that the story really stood out and the world building really stood out in this season. So it comes in at my number 3.
I feel I want to catch up for the ending, the final season, but it's just like,
man, dude, it's like so
it was
momentous.
So bad.
Dude,
it was so
Attack
bad.
on Titan is when Attack on Titan closes. I feel like that's the close of Game of Thrones. It just feels like so many people, even outside of like diehard anime watchers, have been following along with Attack on Titan, and it just feels like that kind of show. Although I guess Demon Slayer is now that show, but
Demon Slayer's better though. At least in season 2 so far.
Yeah, I mean, okay, we'll get into that some other time.
Okay, all right.
I do think Demon Slayer is great. But
Okay. So that's your number 3.
My number 3.
My number 3 is one you might already have heard. This is actually not a time loop or anything like that. It's Vivy, done by Wit Studio. It's sci-fi. Look, I mentioned I love my sci-fi, right? So you knew this was going to be on here. And on top of that, I love my android wants to like love and feel and be a person, right? Anything that gets me in the ballpark of Violet Evergarden, she's not an android, but the thing here is like she's cold-hearted and like motionless, right? And so Vivy kind of like starts off like emotionless, and I just love following that journey. And as you had mentioned, it's an original, and on top of that, an original that didn't end poorly. I know that bar is really low, but like the ending wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but like it was good and like it was great in the context of every other original, but like especially from this season. I won't go into that, but we oh man, one would say they dropped the egg on some of those on some of these shows.
Yeah, they really should have prioritized the ending. Huh?
Yeah, they
wonder
really
what could have happened.
Oh my god, which anime are we talking about? It could be anything.
Could be anything.
But legit, I loved it. And once again, the animation is unreal. It is gorgeous. And I think the one thing that like really made me love Vivy was that it was not what I was expecting at all. I think because I remember I was like, oh, well because I remember it started a little bit earlier than the rest of the animes from this season. Yeah. So it was like 3 episodes in when everything else aired its first episode. And I read the synopsis and I was just like, is this an idol show? And I was like, well, the anime season hasn't started. The animation looks cool. I'll just watch it. And my God, I was like, this is not at all what I signed up for. So the synopsis is very misleading. It's just an android that wants to sing and make people happy. Yeah, okay. Y'all,
thanks, Hatsune Miku. All right.
Yeah. Like, this is not that. If that's what you think
Walmart
it is.
brand Hatsune Miku. Great.
How dare you say this about her? Okay. Watch it. Seriously, by now, if you haven't heard of it, watch Vivy.
Yeah. And again, it's only 13 episodes. It's a really, really good watch. And again, it's on both our top 5, so that tells you a lot about how good it is. Okay, I guess we'll keep trucking along here, and we are getting to our number 2.
Number 2, brother.
Yeah, I was waiting for it. Okay, number 2.
Give me the looks. I was like, what is that cue?
I was like, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it?
Do you want me to do it?
Number 2 on my list is Kobayashi's Dragon Maid Season 2. This one was a surprise pick for me because, again, before the season had launched, I was worried because I saw the preview trailer and I could only just see the boobs on that. What's her name? It starts with an E.
Her eyes are here, dude.
I mean, I can't see them past because her boobs cover everything.
I don't know what you're talking about. All I saw were her eyes, dude. Where were you looking at all of that, dude?
I mean, the landmass.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair.
How can I see past the northern mountains of LA, dude? How am I supposed to see? Like,
the land masses that were in front of you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, they were a bit excessive. But the thing here is she was a good character.
I think it was never about her titties.
Wow.
It was great.
You would, oh my God, who would have guessed that?
But I was scared. I was scared going into it, and then I started watching it, and it was the same goodness that I wanted from, that to continue on from season 1, because I loved season 1. Season 1 was among my favorite animes of that year as well. And season 2 was going to be a hard act to, pick up on that and to do it justice. And
especially when you when you hear about what the source material was.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Even more so and that's another reason why I was so worried about how this season would go, because I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that the small dragon who's childlike but has massive bazongas from an ecchi manga is going to be adapted into anime, and it's not going to be ecchi.
Yeah. And that's exactly, you know what, at this point now, like after season 2 and seeing how they pulled that off, I trust them. Doesn't matter. They can make anything wholesome. I'm pretty sure they could turn World's End Harem into a wholesome show.
They did it. And the animation studio for this is Kyoto Animation. Again, they're all right.
They're known for also doing a lot of wholesome.
It's true. I mean, they kind of led the way on the wholesome stuff. K-On!, Lucky Star. They sort of like pioneered that sort of I don't know, just like slice of life in a band.
The feel good
thing, yeah. And I think one of the things that was so special about the season with Kobayashi Dragon Maid, besides just like the typical slice of life wholesomeness and whatnot, is again world building. I was very surprised that we learned so much about like the dragon side of everything, and Elma in particular got a lot of
Elma's my
screen time.
favorite. So this season, I love this season. Elma's so cute.
Elma just reminds me of my girlfriend Kelly because Elma just loves eating all the different types of foods, and my girlfriend's the same way.
The way she looks at food, Elma is like absolutely hilarious, dude.
And my girlfriend also has a very similar relationship with seeing foods that she likes. So,
and on top of that, I think I do have some complaints about this season. Though.
Oh yeah,
where's Fafnir?
That's true. Fafnir was kind of sidelined, even though I feel like
I want my Fafnir. Where's his comic cat redemption?
Dude, the episode where he goes to sell his own fanfic, and
which is sad, by the way, because like no.
It just flops so hard, and meanwhile, Quetzalcoatl's things are just flying off the shelves. So,
oh man,
poor guy.
Just seriously, everyone, I'm serious. We gotta get Fafnir's book, his comic cat appearance, just to like pop off the shelves. We need to get it to a point where he has a spin-off.
I mean, he is out of all the people in that show, like I relate to him, you know, especially now that Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker came out. Like,
yeah,
I am just him. I am literally grinding. I sat in front of my computer for like 12 hours straight, hoping to get a drop from this stupid. Anyways,
that's just the MMO experience.
That's also true. But yes, Kobayashi Dragon Maid, legitimately, if you have somehow have not watched season 1 yet, go watch that. If you haven't watched season 2, go watch that right after.
It even has like battle scenes.
Yeah, and
like random.
Dude,
I was like,
Kyoto
whoa.
animation battle scenes, they don't come up often, so you have to savor them.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's like
they're like an endangered species.
Yeah,
and they're just amazing.
It's
I'm turning Italian with my hand motions because I'm so excited about it.
I just couldn't believe it, like how good it was, like the animation on the fights. So yeah, like Xell had mentioned, you gotta savor them when they pop up, and you gotta like. It's a great show. It may like just from the posters and whatnot, it's like, oh, is it just maid girls running around and being scandalous or something? No, it's very wholesome. So by now, if you haven't seen Dragon Maid, check it out. But so your number 2, solid. My number 2, you know, has characters with, I guess, big bazongas too, times 5 even. But
they have 10 boobs.
There are 10 boobs in that, guaranteed at least, and they're some of my absolute favorites. not the boobs, the characters. And it's the quintessential quintuplets. Okay, all right.
What's the genre of this?
Action, because
where's the action? I've watched it, but I was
when Miku falls, right in the water.
That's a verb, yeah.
Yeah. That's like an action. See, so she did something, and so therefore it is an action.
So everything's
anime.
an action anime.
Yeah. We'll go with that. Okay, fine. The first simp has declared the romance anime is it. This okay, to be fair though, so this is a romance harem, and I am trash, call me what it is. I get it. But the thing here is this show it captures the harem and the romance that I feel of like when I would feel like watching some of the older animes, right? Like Love Hina, things like that. And it just had the feel goods, right? Like and it was just sweet, endearing, and you loved every character. Each sister was different. Like you could, though they looked the same, you could tell which one was which, right?
Yeah.
Just the way they talk, their personalities. I am very upset that, the main character can't tell them apart because I'm like, come on, man, even I can tell that.
It's like, okay, sure, they have the same hair, kind of. But like, also, do you see the details? Like, are you blind to okay, one has a star?
How does the teacher not know that they're not all Yotsuba, right? Like it's like, come on. She literally wears the ribbon. One has the ribbon with really long hair. I'm just like,
one has very short hair. Like, I don't understand. Like,
exactly.
Okay.
And if you're a fan of romances and like harem style comedies, this is the good stuff. I was very surprised I'm not gonna lie to you, when I first started the show, I thought it was kind of like going to be like some just super trash kind of stuff, and I'd probably like it, but only in quiet. But it turns out
with the lowercase, yeah.
only in quiet. But I am clearly, as I brought Itsuki here. I mean, she's not the best. She's like second best. Best girl is Miku, and like
disgusting. Oh,
you are wrong, and I will. Best girl is Miku.
Two words. Need of gain.
Oh my god, dude! There's no way it's Nino.
Also, season 2 was all about Nino.
But Miku's the way she confesses, dude. That come on, that is like probably okay. So
you're in love with the doormat.
Okay, say what you will. You leave Miku out of this, okay? She is not a doormat, okay? And so that is her confession to the main character. I would consider to be one of the sweetest and one of the more romantic confessions in romance animes. One of the better ones. Yeah. And she's okay. Show's great. Watch it. Seriously. The first simp has therefore declared this show is good.
Going back to Crim's psyche, by the way, this is a continuation from yesterday's conversations, is that Crim has two types that are also very conflicting with each other. So we already mentioned the Dami mommies, right?
Yeah.
With war criminal backgrounds.
Right.
But also Crim likes the, Niisan, I am loving you so much, and I
could first off, just she's sweet, all right? She's not woo, she's just sweet. She's considerate. That's good. Why would you not want that? I would want a considerate Dami Mommy war criminal. I don't know if you can put those together.
That's what I'm saying.
But
I
want that.
Intrinsic disconnect in the middle.
What's it called again when they slam
Kabedon?
Kabedon. I want to get Kabedon, but I want it to be like aggressively nice. Does that exist? Can that exist? How does that play out? Like, I hope your day's going really well. Like, I brought you dinner and I love you.
And okay, bye.
Ooh, get out of here.
Puts away her gun. Yeah.
So that's my war criminal. I love her. She's great. I don't bring her around friends or literally anybody, but she's great. But yeah, so Miku, best girl. Now, that is undisputable. And everybody that has watched Undisputable, Miku's best girl. And if you don't know, there's a movie coming out. So watch that.
Yes.
Or you could read the manga to get ahead. I couldn't wait. But okay. Anyways, let's get right into the big one. This is essentially what would be our animes of the year. This would be our number one, brother. Or actually, I should have done this one as Michael Caine. Mr. Wayne, this is the best anime of the year, Mr. Wayne.
I hate both these voices so much.
Master Bruce, this is the best anime of the year. Can you lead us into the number one?
What other
anime?
impressions you got?
It all kind of just.
It's just those two.
It's just kind of circles back. So if it's not they're very different people, by the way. It's either Michael Caine or Macho Man Randy. You get one or the other, right? So
okay, we're gonna talk about our number one anime of the year. I mean, this is really, really hard for me to pick, and I picked this a little bit with there's an asterisk on mine because technically, as we are filming this is not done yet. But with what it has so far,
Konoha already did finish.
Oh, well, thank you for spoiling.
Oh, yeah, okay, it's a good anime.
Yeah, sorry. And also, World's End Harem was also not.
We'll never know.
Dude,
what if that
could have been the best?
I'm just
gonna
say it now, okay? It could have been the best anime.
It could have been. Probably not, but could have been.
But you can't say that for a certain. Maybe the odds of it are very low. But the thing here is, we'll never know because it got pushed back to 2022.
Yeah. You never know.
Harem could be that good.
It's like in a multiple choice test when there's 4 answers in a row that are the same. It's A, and you're like, that's not possible.
But sometimes it could be. It could be. So that's World's End Harem. I mean, just gonna say it. Just gonna disclaimer.
It's just in a black box. It could have been anything.
We'll never know.
My number one anime of the year is Ousama Ranking by Wit Studio. And it's not done yet. It's by the end of this season, it's going to be halfway done. But as it stands right now, that's why I put an asterisk on it, because I do realize that it's like slightly unfair. But I do think that the first season so far has been just absurdly good, and I think there's just a level of craft here that I just really appreciate. One, which is like the art style is very unique, and I think it's very atypical for anime. And I think probably a reason why some people haven't heard of it as much is because they probably saw it and wrote it off as just like, oh, it's just a kid's show, because like Boji is very round and cute.
The round cute, it's just like the art style. The way it looks like a kid's anime.
Yeah, and like,
but I know it's not.
It's got this sort of fairy tale thing, but it leans into that. And the thing is that the story itself is actually very dark and very I don't know. This one is a show that I think is got sort of like a Game of Thrones-esque thing, intrigue into it. Yeah, there's like some politics that happen, assassination attempts, and like all the stuff. And then at the core of it, you have this main character, Boji, who is he's deaf. He also is mute, and he's obviously an underdog. And you learn more about his story and sort of his struggle to become the best he can be, so that way he can be a highly ranked king someday, right? And that whole journey has just been so wonderful so far. And I really think out of everything Wit Studio has done, this is the one that really, like, I think stands completely apart from everything else. Like, I love this one so much. The music is fantastic. The animation is fantastic. The story is great. The characters are great. I mean, there's nothing bad about the show. And again, I will reiterate yet again that I do know that it's a little bit biased to say it before it's actually done, but I would be very surprised if the show didn't end up being just
what if it
amazing.
Like Fennas it up and like Wonder Eggs last two episodes are like pure caca.
We'll talk about it at the end of fall 2022.
Okay, all right, we'll see.
It'll be done by then.
Hopefully it stays on the trajectory that it's on, because it sounds really good. Like the premise and everything that, reading up on it, the way, you've told, like what you've told me, it sounds really good.
Yeah.
So I just haven't gotten around to it. Mm-hmm. So I guess, so that, you know what? That's
my number one.
That's a solid number one. So my number one is definitely one that's, okay. It's me, your boy, the first simp, right? So the first simp back at it again. Okay, I think my number one, when I say I think, I mean I know my number one. My number one is Horimiya, which is wild because that is from the very first like season of anime this year. Mm-hmm. And like, holy cow. I might like romance. I might like a little bit of romance. Okay, I do.
Admitting it is a great first step, Crim. Let's go.
Admit it, Mr. Wayne. You love romance. Okay. Anyways, I did love this show like an immeasurable amount, because I think the best part about it is that every character was good in this show. Mm-hmm. Every single one of them. And they all get shipped off and like have their own relationships and things like that, right? And some of them kind of get shafted. My girl, with a little bit of green hair, but whatever, dude, I guess. But I think the main thing that made me fall in love with this show and made it stand out, and why it's my anime of the year, is because as the first simp, I've watched my fair share of romances, right? And the thing here is like, it's always the chase and then it cuts. Mm-hmm. This goes up to the chase and then follows them more after the chase, and then it shows what they're like together. Yeah, and you get to see like example, like how they bond with each other's families, and like how everybody, like the dad, everyone just hangs out.
Yeah, no,
with Miyamura. Is your boyfriend coming over? Like, because just curious, because I can clear my schedule if you need. You know what I mean? Like, I love this. Like, I love the way they showed family in this in multiple ways, and just like from both sides, and then every character just had that development that I wanted.
Yeah,
so.
I love that about Horimiya, where, like you said, like a lot of times I think romance anime, we have Thor.
My dog is just rolling around in the background, and I have, you could probably hear him now.
It's like growling and just turning around. I don't know what he's up to.
Dad's a simp.
He's like, God damn it. Not again.
Thor, come here, boy.
What's he doing?
Legit. Okay, he's just rolling around over there. He's just doing this and growling back and forth. So I don't know if you can hear him in the background, but he's definitely doing that. But yeah.
I don't know what he's up to. Well,
Thor, come here. Here, boy.
But yeah, Horimiya, I think, like you said, I think what sets it apart is I think a lot of romance shows only talks about how the relationship gets started. And I think one of the things that I love about Horimiya is how much they talk about the communication of people's feelings within the relationship and like setting expectations and boundaries and all the stuff that like, I feel like, you know, a lot of romances don't even ever touch upon, which I think is like a shame because like, bro, like
that's the intimate. That's the meat, right? Of like a relationship, right? So,
and so I loved it. I think Horimiya is a very worthy anime of the year as well.
Especially if you're like the first simp.
The first simp.
Yeah, the first simp is.
Oh,
that's like not nearly as cool like the first sliver. You know what I mean? But it's like.
Do you buff other simps?
Yeah.
Is that how that works? Like your simp aura activates other simps?
I'm the Takamichi for all like simp gatherings, you know? If I scream and cry enough, it is
you guys can be invited to the simp Discord where Crim will organize simp
Thor has made an appearance. Here's his butt. Okay. Go ahead, as you were. Let's
and yeah, just I lost my train of thought.
Is it because my dog has the mic now?
Hi, Thor. He's like,
well, Thor's done.
But yeah, so that rounds out our top 5 lists of best anime of the year. I think. I don't know. Even though your list is, slightly different than mine, like TBH, every anime that we listed here are just terrific anime, and I really enjoyed watching all of them this year. And I'm now just excited for what's coming up because I think it feels like we're on a good trajectory here. This was a slow year for anime, and I know like couple of animations.
A slow year.
I think so. I think we've been extremely fortunate these last few years of having just like such great anime every season, and I felt like this was like the first year in a while that there was like even seasons that felt slow. But I think with like people getting more used to COVID and like workflows getting better, hopefully that means there will be less like production issues and whatever, and hopefully that means good things for
minus 86.
Well, that's what I'm saying is like maybe I don't know. Maybe animation productions will never seem to solve their overworking
The industry
problem.
is just always brutal. But
way to end on a great note.
Look, corgi butt.
Corgi butt.
But like, I know that tons of people are being worked really hard, but check out this corgi butt.
Oh,
put it on the mic and see if he farts, bro.
And so with that's going to round out this episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let us know what other things that we have missed. I'm sure there are going to be people who talk about 86 and Mushoku Tensei, but I think in previous episodes we've talked about...
and JoJo.
That's actually a big miss. I still have yet to finish JoJo's. That's actually a good one because I'm only halfway through, and it is actually a worthy contender for best anime of the year. So that's another honorable mention.
It aired really, really late,
and it dumped all at once. So I haven't been able to like binge it all through. But that show's also really, really good. Sorry, JoJo fans, if you skipped all the way to the end, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Itsuki and Miku forgive you, and Rei.
I thought she was Rias.
First off, I'm glad you recognize the queen. Second off, it's not.
Anyways.
You can't tell your red-haired waifus apart. Dude. Come on,
I'm
man.
so sorry.
Come on,
I
man.
can't believe I've mixed up red-haired protagonists.
Yeah,
There's
dude.
only a billion
I accept
of them.
the apology.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time. We'll see you in the next year. Bye, guys. We'll see. Oh, also thank you for supporting us over the year.
Oh yeah.
I mean, this is the end of the year episode, so just want to say thanks. We just started this year, right? And we've got almost 40 episodes out at the time of this, and
dude, wow.
We've got big plans for this channel, and I hope you guys will follow us in the future.
And it's not just this corgi butt.
And it's not just going to be corgi butts and talking about the state of the animation industry. We're also planning on expanding just like more videos besides our podcast in general as well. So like I'm really excited for what's coming up.
We've got lots of videos of just Xell's feet.
Of my feet. That's for 1,000 subs, though.
Yeah,
so
1,000 subs.
You guys
and
will have
just
to work for that
seriously,
one.
so much Xell feed content. You don't even know. Please put your foot down.
okay,
Please put your
sorry.
foot down. Can we get demonetized for that? Wait, do we even have monetization?
Okay, now that's the end. Goodbye, everybody. See you guys in the next episode. Bye.